Hello and welcome along and welcome back to the farm. It is the end of October. We're in the waning days at the moment and we still have a lot to do before we head into late autumn. I need to get the cows cleaned out today and we need to feed the chickens and yeah, various bits to do around the farm. There's some good things with this. This is the first set of manure we're clearing out of the cows today, which means that we're going to be nice and self-sufficient in our greenhouses from here onwards. Absolutely fantastic news that is. Makes things so much easier around here. Means we have to spend less money to basically run the farm. However, we have had to borrow some. I've had to go and just get sort of another £5,000 from the bank because we need to get the canola in before the temperature drops. Now I can probably repay that next month, and we've got some contract work and things coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. There's some soybean harvests that I've been asked to help with. So we should get some money in. We should be a little bit better off in a couple of weeks. But right now we've got a little bit of a cash flow issue, so I've had to borrow some money just to make sure that we don't run out before we have got everything for next year in. And getting the canola in, getting winter canola in instead of waiting till the springtime gives us a lot more leeway. So but we need to do it before we have a temperature drop and have any issues with it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We need to clear the cows out. We need to feed the chickens because they're getting low on feed, and we need to go and pick some canola seeds up from the shop, and I want to get field 36 planted today. So yeah, fair amount to do, and then as I said, that's going to lead us very nicely into November, where we've got a couple of fields contracted with the farm up the top, the farm in town. They are going to be doing some harvesting, and they've asked us to come and cart for them for that. They've actually got their own tractors and trailers, so we're not going to be using our JCB for that, which is quite good. That will actually help us a little bit, which is quite nice. And yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of work and basically trying out some new equipment as well. There's a few bits as well that I'm going to need to do after that, going into the winter. While our cows still have some grass at the moment that they can feed on, and it is keeping them going quite nicely, as we go late autumn and into winter, the grass in the field is just not going to be long enough, isn't going to be good enough to sustain them. And as we approach our first calving season next year, we want to give the cows a little bit of mixed ration, I think, going into the new year. Still got some left on the ground here. Yeah, let's get that as well. So as soon as we can do that, we will do. I am gonna need a mixing wagon to do that. So we've got one of those that I've got my eye on. There's a brand called Mammoth that I think we found one for that. So I'm gonna go and check that out in a couple of weeks. And hopefully that will all be sorted as well. Been speaking to the person selling that as well, which is all good. I mean, things are moving together nicely. We are nicely set up going into winter, and I've not got that many worries. The farm has panned out pretty well the first year. We're going to have to clean out. We're going to have to give the bucket and the JCB a wash down before I feed the chickens. I don't want to be using a manure-filled bucket to feed them, so there we go. Almost all of our manure's gone in there. We're going to put this, we have actually got a storage area for manure, so we'll go and put this little bit that we can't quite fit in there. we'll go put that over there. And means that going forwards, when we clean out our cows and we have any left over, we can just go and plonk this here. But yeah, we're nicely self-sufficient on our on the farm now. We're not having to buy in stuff to keep those bits running with our greenhouses, which is a massive shift. That just means the greenhouses at this point are almost pure profit. Right, let's go give this a wash, and then we can do our second job today, which is feeding our chickens, because yep, they need some feed to keep producing eggs, and they're doing pretty well at that, to be honest. I'll turn you off. Oh, look at the state of this. I think it's been a fair old while since I cleaned this up. In fact, actually, most of this mud has come from the amount of time we spent with it in the field, cleaning up all of those bales that we had, that we've now got nicely stacked in here. So yeah, it's all pretty good. I'm very happy. Look at that. That cleans up really nicely, that JCB. And then we'll give this a wash out. I'll pour the water out in a moment. And yeah, I think we'll give this a chance to dry, because if I try and pick up a whole load of grain in this bucket at the moment, it's gonna just stick to it, and I don't want to do that. So pull that in, pull that back, and just, yeah, shake any water out of it. And then if I just park it up here, it'll come along nicely and dry out, and I can then feed my chickens in a bit. In the meantime, I am going to go and get the landy, and we're going to hook up the trailer there and head up to the shop. I need to take the sides off it first, and we've got some canola seed to go and pick up so that we can get field 36 planted. So I've dropped the side cages off my trailer so that I can very easily load it up. It gets a little bit complicated if I leave all the side cages on. Down that way, down there, that is where Malthouse Farm is. That's the farm that we're going to be doing some soybean cutting on in the next couple of weeks. They've got several fields that are waiting to be finished off. It's a fairly late cut this year, but they're still not quite ready. And as a result, they are in need of some help getting them done. Right, let's get the back of this trailer done then, and we'll drop that open. Come on, there we go, and open it up. Perfect. Right, and with that open, what we can do is come over here, and we want to get these picked up. We'll use the Clark as we normally do. Start it up. And yeah, I'm so pleased that they replaced the little Lindy that was just not up to the task here with this Clark. You can actually see the tips of the forks on this as well, which is really helpful for doing this kind of thing. And because we've only got one of these, what we can do is just line ourselves up and put it straight into the back. We'll also put it over the wheels a little bit nicely as well, so it should keep us fairly well balanced. Yeah, and there, down, and back it off. Perfect. So yeah, really good to have the ability to use this down here. Very nice of them to allow for that. And done. Perfect. Right, now I just need to close this up, and we can get on our way. Close it up. There we go. And there we are. And with that closed, what we can do is strap these down like so. Yeah, it's a little bit back heavy, but it'll be fine. It's going to lift the rear wheels up, but we should still have steering. And then we can reverse this up. Yeah, maybe filling it from the side would have been a better choice, but never mind. I'm going to get this back down the farm, and by the time we get back down there, I'm hoping the bucket on the JCB is going to have dried and we can get the chickens fed. From the looks of it, I think November's going to be another pretty busy month. We've got several contracting jobs around. As I said, Malthouse Farm is looking for somebody to help cart for their soybean harvest, so we're going to be doing a few fields with them. We've got well, there's maize to harvest, there's corn to harvest around here. I'm still don't know whether they're going to be doing that as silage or corn, but we'll see what happens there. Tends to be more silage, but I don't know. We've got our own silage to do. We've got our own grass silage to do as well, which is going to be quite a bit of work. Let's undo these, but I'm not going to come back to that for now. And yeah, there's just, it's going to be so busy trying to get things done before winter kicks in. Is this nice and dry now? Oh, that's looking pretty good. Okay, we should be all right picking up the barley at this point. I removed the wiring earlier, so we should be good here. I think we might try and build a grain store in here. I've got a few places that I think will be able to do that for us. And put something fairly simple in there, especially as we're beginning to expand the crops. We want to try and make sure that we're going to be all right with that. So let's put some barley in here for our chickens. That will keep them fairly happy. I must remember to keep some of this back for feeding them over the next year or so. We should be all right. I have a rough idea of how much I need to keep back. So we will keep some of this back for that, for their feed as well, which will all be good. And yeah, right. So now that we've done the chickens, we need to go and get ourselves switched over to the forks so we can unload this trailer and get our cedar loaded up with this. Actually, I can probably load straight off the back of the trailer. We don't need to unload this right now, so I'm going to leave this here and we'll go and hook the JCB tractor up. Also, yeah, nice and clean at the moment. This is not going to remain this way once I start getting into field 36 and doing the seeding with it. So hook this up to our trailer here and should be all good. There and there. Perfect. And we'll open this up, just check that this is all looking good. Oh, I've still got some seed in. I'm gonna have to get that emptied out before I fill up. Okay, that shouldn't be in there. I thought I'd clean that out, so yep, I'll go get that bagged up, and we'll get the other stuff sorted. So I've emptied out the cedar. As you can see, it's nice and clear now, and bagged up the wheat and put it on here. So yeah, we've got quite a bit of wheat left over from our seeding this year. We've got quite a bit of barley there as well. Let's close this up and jump back in here. But I want to get over here and get this done as well. Right, drop that down. We'll go and open this up, and we will get this filled as well. So let's get this done. Perfect. And yeah, I'll jump up on top here, and we're going to empty some of these out and into here. And there we go. That is a nice full thing of this. So let's close that up, fold that up, and we can head back, or we can head out into field 36 and get this planted just in time, hopefully before temperature drops at the end of the month, and we won't get any germination from this canola. That would be bad. Right, and I'll start in the bottom corner here and work my way across the field. Should be all good. Yeah. I'm happy about this. This should be really getting ahead of ourselves and setting ourselves up very, very nicely for the next year and making sure that we are in a position where we can just work away. Once you get into this field, it's quite an easy, straight field to work, despite its odd shape. The hardest bit is that end there. We end up going on an angle in this field of 113 degrees. It's sort of an east-southeast kind of direction. Is the best way to plant this field. Makes it the longest edge, works well, but the issue with it is that there's that little bit of a bump along that bottom edge, which makes the first couple of seedings a little bit odd until you manage to get it to straighten out like this. Once you got past that, this field is easy enough to do. There's no really strange bits after that. The top corner tends to be a little bit fiddly by the pond, because it's kind of just a little headland bit up there. Otherwise, yeah, we have very little issue with this, and we're doing this very old school. We've got no GPS here or anything like that. We are purely old school. We've got a marker along there, and we try and keep the tractor in the marker on the way back. And it all just works. Now we are direct seeding in here. This Combine Cetera, this does a direct seeding, so we don't need to worry about doing any cultivating first. We do have a cultivator on the farm, but it's more for when we want to either cultivate up some grassland or if we get a cultivating contract. We tend to use it for that, whereas here, the direct seeder kind of takes away the necessity for doing that. Once you start getting near the gateway in this field, it gets a lot more fiddly. We are able to get up to here without too much problem, but you can see here the field bulges out a little bit. And as a result, you end up having to come in a little bit more. It actually helps with the direct seeding here that we can see where we were seeding last year. We are seeding at a slightly different angle. I started it from the other end, so as a result, we actually ended up with a longer straight edge, and it's one of those mistakes I think I'm making first year that I've learned from, is that we want to be at this angle more in order to actually do this field properly and get the best setup from this field, and to make things just sort of generally easier on ourselves. But it gets much shorter up this top end, and as I was saying earlier, we've got that little area as we get near the cow fields that is just absolutely tiny and really, really fiddly. Unfortunately, there is no way to plant this field without ending up with an area that's fiddly like that. Its triangular shape just sort of pushes you into a corner at one end anyway. So yeah, when we get to that bit, it is just going to be a little bit more fiddly than the rest of the field. I'm right up the top end of the field now, and yeah, I'm doing more turning maneuvers and positioning than I am actual seeding at the moment. We're moving a few meters forward, turning, positioning ourselves for the next one, and then doing it. But I think I have about 2 more rows left, and then we can get the headland done down this side of the field. So yeah, put that there. Yeah, I think 1 more row should do us, but you can see how short the actual bit we do here. And this is part of the reason why we end up doing 3 headlands around here as well. we have a... Actually, I don't need to mark the last one. We have a area here that will be cleaned out by 3 headlands and make manoeuvring of the combine much easier by not having to deal with it. And it just, yeah, it just makes everything down here more easy to handle. Right, there we go. Now what I want to do here, let's set myself up. We're going to have a bit of an overlap doing this bit of headland, and then we'll come back and do the outer bit. So this is sort of clean up, and then yeah, doing the outer bit. So down like so, and into the headlands, which is great because this field is almost done. We come back up here, and rather than having to go into the field, we can finish with this nice little bit that juts out here. Oh, actually, I've got one other little bit to do, which is here. And that will clear and sort everything out. So there we go. That has got this field seeded. We've done really well. We've got our first set of manure out, and our greenhouses are doing well. We've got our chickens fed, and the canola is in the ground. Hopefully this is going to germinate, and we're going to have a nice set of winter canola crop next year. But this is where I'm going to leave it for today. We've got lots coming up in November, so yeah, going to be a busy old month, and we will pick up in our next vlog there. For now though, all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.